Welcome to In the Green Room. I'm Kinga.
And I'm Chet.
And I'm Jen Graffice.
And you are a mindset coach?
That is correct.
And what's the name of your business?
The name of my business is Q Life. It stands for Quality Lifestyle. I believe that everyone has the opportunity to kind of define their own Q, what their quality is to them, and then live their Q as well.
And you focus mostly on athletes, is that correct?
Athletes, coaches, parents, schools.
I love that.
Yeah.
Chet, you're kind of an athlete.
Well, I think my start in athletics definitely affected my personality and made me way more competitive and basically more keen for like pressured situations. Like when I perform, a lot of my colleagues will be like really nervous, and I don't get nervous at all because like DJing is so much lower stakes than pitching. Like when I was pitching, that ball can get hit right back at my head. That's way higher stakes than if I make a mistake DJing. Like I'll get the crowd back to loving me in like 10 seconds. So
that's what a great analogy, right?
Yeah. Well, sports just applies to other things so well. Like so many people might think like, oh, I'm not going to end up being a professional athlete. Like I don't need to train that hard. But the harder you're willing to push yourself in sports, the harder you're going to be able to push yourself in other areas of life. And it totally correlates. So.
Absolutely. And especially in today's climate of students and athletes, probably the three top things that I deal with is performing under pressure, because kids don't have the sense of delayed gratification with social media, with getting all these dopamine hits so quickly, so rapidly, that they shut down when any kind of adversity hits. And so when you apply that to high pressure positions like pitchers, catchers, quarterbacks, tumblers, equestrian riders, whatever you might think of, it becomes hard. So when you learn those lessons early, it totally transfers into life as well. That's why the name of my business is Q Life. Even though it's like high performance, I think we all can be athletes of life and high performers of life, and it translates over so nicely.
Always trying to improve and achieve your goals.
Yep.
Even if it's not sports, kind of.
100%. Yep.
Yes. And staying positive in a difficult situation.
Yes.
Ironically, I just came from the doctor because I fractured my wrist, and I got one opinion just now that I might have to have surgery. So how do you cheer me up?
I love that.
With that news.
So like, right, you're an athlete of life. You just got injured.
Yes.
So you could be sidelined for a little while.
Yes. I mean, it's hard even getting dressed or taking a shower or putting my makeup on.
100%.
It's really
well, the way to look at
challenge.
it is that it's such a miracle that you get to exist during the invention of surgeries.
Right.
That injury happened during 99.9% of human existence. You just have a deformed hand for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so just like literally pinch yourself that you got to exist in the surgery has probably only existed for like 40 or 50 years. And humans have existed for like 100,000 or something. So to think that you existed in that small window where you could actually get that fixed, you're so lucky.
Look at him doing
That is so true.
at him doing a little mindset shift on you. I love it.
Well,
I was just going to say that's exactly what you need to do when we get into these down moments or things don't seem like they're going well. I'll even go a step further to say that, so I'm a big holistic naturopathic, love to research all the things when it comes to how we can increase our longevity, help our brain health, help our muscles continue to develop as we age. So aside from surgery, I'm going to challenge that there also could be some potential other alternatives that you could look into, perhaps as an additional avenue tool, whatever. There's peptides, there's BPC 157, TB 200, which are actually peptides that actually help cellular growth around ligaments, bones, bone density, actually can help the calcification process in bones. My nephew tore his hamstring 2 weeks before his senior year and state tournament play, and he used BPC 157 and was back in 10 days.
And he
Like
didn't, no
insane.
surgery.
Well, he didn't need surgery, but if you
Mhm.
know anything about a hamstring, it's usually a 6 to 12 week process.
Yeah.
And he didn't have that time, so he just, of course, I'm not a doctor. I'm not recommending you do this, but you can do your own research and just look at, there are other, you have PEMF, which is pulsed electromagnetic frequency mats that are red light therapies that actually help you, that penetrate the skin and go down to the cellular and bone level as well. When I was in my car accident, I did a lot of
How long ago was that?
2020.
Okay.
Mhm.
So about 5.
So 5 years ago, I did like hyperbaric chamber and PEMF mats and red light therapy and a lot of the
What was the injury after the accident?
concussion.
Oh,
So and
okay.
neck and spine. They
Oh.
wanted to do a full nerve block because I was having like radiating pain down my arm, and I had the first like test, and I was like, yeah, it doesn't feel right for me just to cut off a nerve just because I'm in pain. I need to heal it from a different
Yeah, it's like
perspective.
ignoring the problem.
Yes, and I'm all about touching
Yeah.
the root cause for
Yeah.
sure.
So you did a lot of other modalities.
And then also, like Chet said, like ground yourself in gratitude, right? Like find yourself, there are a lot of people that could have been in an accident and exactly had to get it amputated or things like that, to where when we ground ourselves in gratitude, we have the ability, like you can't be nervous and anxious and actually in gratitude at the same time.
That's true.
So gratitude is actually a huge tool that I use with my teams and my athletes in regards to right before they go on stage, right before they go out to the field.
What do you say to them?
Give me 3 things that you're grateful for. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful to play the sport that I get to play. I'm grateful my parents have the ability to pay for me to do this crazy, obnoxious, expensive sport. And then when they go out there, they're like, okay, it's just baseball. I mean, I know that sounds like trivial, but in the end of the day, in the big picture, it's just a sport that you get to love.
That's true.
You don't have to be so feeling the pressure and like, oh my gosh, the world's coming to an end if I strike out. I'm working with a baseball player right now that is the number 4 batter. And so he has all the pressure. His whole goal is just to hit the ball and hit it hard. And, he had a game where he struck out 3 times and he was so down on himself. Like, no, the pressure's on me. I'm the leader of the team. And guess what? That's, pressure is a privilege. And so how do we learn how to manage that pressure? And what does that look like? And
well, so what's the advice for that when you're under pressure and you feel stressed and pressured?
Tools and techniques on how to stay in the present moment, because when we get too far ahead of ourselves, what if I strike out? What if I get hurt? What if I get injured again? What if the coach doesn't like me? Any of those things, like that's
coming from fear.
It's fear. It's interesting. I just had
Because when you're thinking about the things that could go wrong.
If it's related to sports, I try to just remember that I'm there to have fun, because it's so easy to start playing those head games of getting way too intense on yourself, and then you basically play head games that make you play worse.
Yeah.
And so it shoots yourself in the foot. So sometimes overthinking is your worst enemy. And so in those moments in a sport, under that type of pressure, try to just remember, this is all fun and games. I mean, if it's a true crisis, like there's a natural disaster or something like that type of pressure, that's a whole nother ballpark. Like that's not fun and games. That's like, you have to find a way to calm down and still function and not panic, because that could be a life or death situation. So that's
true.
Those are kind of 2 separate things. Sports pressure can induce that type of panic in your head, though.
It's the flight, fight, or freeze.
Yeah, exactly. That can totally happen to somebody. If they catch the kickoff, all of a sudden they freeze. Like, that does happen, but that's not a true life or death moment, really. I mean, there can be mistakes on a field where people can die, but it's very rare.
Right.
Yeah.
And even like you said, the fight, flight, or freeze, their body is assimilating that it is a very, it's how you train your body to recognize those 3 scenarios, because in that moment your body thinks it's going to die.
Yeah.
Even though it really isn't,
Yeah.
but it's like, it's the mentality behind it. So fear only exists in the past. So
okay.
Fear only exists in the past, meaning we wouldn't be fearful if we did not have an experience to tell us that we needed to be fearful, and or somebody else told us we needed to be fearful. For example, Chet and I are brother and sisters, and we got split up. And I lived with my mom in New York City. He lived with dad on a farm, right? And I was walking in New York City on a sidewalk, and a snake slithered across the sidewalk, and my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, don't touch that. That thing will kill you. Like, it's gonna bite you and you will die." And Chet grew up on a farm where his dad handed him a snake and said, these are the most amazing animals ever. They keep the mice away. They help our farm. They help the ecosystem within our property. These are amazing. I'm now afraid of snakes. Chet thinks they're amazing. And we both had an experience with snakes that caused us to either be afraid or not afraid. So fear only exists in the past. Anxiety and worry only exist in the future. So when we're worried about something or we're anxious about something, it only exists in the future, meaning we're already preempting and trying to figure out what's going to happen, which is where a lot of athletes spend their time. They're either fearful of something that happened in the past. Oh my gosh, I got injured 4 years ago. What if that happens again? Or they're worried about something like, oh my gosh, that one thing is coming up.
What if I fail?
What if I fail?
Yeah.
What if that one thing that's coming up in the routine, so now they're not even where they're supposed to be on the field or in a routine or whatever, and they're already worried about something that's going to happen 4 minutes from now. They're not in the present moment. So the way to eliminate anxiety and fear is to actually be in the present moment. So how do we
enjoy the moment?
Enjoy the moment, but actually be in the moment. Like how are we able to be right here in this studio
and enjoying that moment.
Enjoying it and talking on, I'm not thinking about at 2:00 I have my next client, or we have to stay in the present moment. And when we have the opportunity to stay in the present moment, we can enjoy it for what it is. And then it can help like calm our nerves
and not worry about something that might be anxiety driven. Okay.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is good because some people that I've mentioned, I don't want to have surgery.
Well, I feel like for athletes, they have to just remind themselves that they're there to have fun and to compete and to get out of their heads and stop thinking of those what ifs. Because, at the end of the day, you're there to have fun and compete. Like, you're trying to win, but you also should be trying to have fun. And I think that's how I always got back to not being in my head. It was actually from my dad. He would ask me before every single game, he would say, what's the number one most important thing? And the correct answer was having fun.
Right.
And so that's why I was able to like throw off like, oh, like if I made a mistake or walked a batter, I would just like shake it off really fast because you can't let one mistake bring you down. You're still there to have fun and compete.
Yeah.
Well, because that whole team is staring at you, all the parents, all the, coaches, everybody expecting you to strike that.
And having the ability to recognize that, because it's easy, like you have coaches and or parents that are like, hey, just go out there and have fun, or go out there and be confident. But if you don't know how to get into that fun space, like, sounds great, but how?
Well, I think a big part of it too is celebrating the wins. Like, I would get really excited after each strikeout, or like if I made a 3, I would show it. Like, so I think that's another part of having fun. It's not taunting the other team, but it's just celebrating the win as the game goes on, being competitive. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and your team won the championship, the state championship. Yes,
that's awesome.
So that was really exciting, and to be on varsity, and that was
fun.
pretty amazing, and being one of the pitchers.
Notre Dame Prep. It was back in 2013, so it was a while ago.
Yeah.
But,
but it's exciting because there's a wedding this weekend, and with a friend of his. I'm not gonna say the names. But you're
one of my teammates.
Yeah, one of his teammates that
getting married now.
Isn't that exciting?
Full circle,
yes, it's very exciting.
Circle, for sure.
Yes,
for sure. That's
so,
very
what
exciting.
would you say is the most when you're coaching an athlete or a team? What would you say are the most common questions or fears that they have that they want to work on?
The big one is lack of confidence, because confidence fuels everything. So when we lack our confidence, that is the kind of a main driving force. And when we lack confidence, then suddenly we might not be able to throw a skill. We might actually revert backwards and actually like forget and those kinds of things. And a lot of times it actually doesn't have to do with the sport, believe it or not.
What can it have to do with?
I just
like a breakup?
Yep. So it could be anything that would defeat your confidence, and then it shows up in other areas of your life. So it could be a breakup. It could be
a loss.
A parent is ill or sick. It could be, yes, I just lost a grandparent. It could be, I just failed a test. And now all of a sudden, like, I'm in this weird spot and I don't feel good about myself and I start to lose my confidence. And then how are you going to show up confidently in sports? So 9 times out of 10, the kids that come to me that are struggling with confidence, it doesn't necessarily have to do with their sport.
So how do you bring back that confidence?
It's all about rewiring the brain. So
So
how
is it
do
through
we,
exercise? Is it through?
no, exercises of rewiring the brain? Like it's all we become what we think about. So I have a master certification in what's called NLP. And
what is that?
NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. So neuro-linguistic programming is we become what we speak about, we become what we think about, we become what we say, we become who we surround ourselves with. So
Can you repeat that one more time? I love it.
Yes, we become what we think about, we become what we speak about, we become who we surround ourselves with.
Okay.
So when we understand that and understand that everything that we do and say goes straight to our subconscious brain. So if I'm a negative thinker, I'm a negative talker, I have the negative voice on the side of my shoulder saying, oh my gosh, Jen, you don't know that woman. Don't go to the podcast. That could be scary, right? You just met her yesterday. Like, don't go. It could be a scam. You have no idea. Or I could be like, you know what? This is such a great opportunity that was literally dropped in my lap in a matter of 5 minutes. Why not just appreciate the journey? Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's going to be beautiful.
Right.
So when we become what we speak about, so when I say, I don't know, give me one of your goals.
To play at some new music festivals next year.
I love it. To play at some new music festivals next year, right? So the more that he says, not just I want to or I wish to play at some music festivals, now we have to get very crystal clear and have a lot of clarity around it. It's I'm going to play at this music festival next year. What music festival do you want to play at next year?
That's
Hard
a good
Summer.
question.
Hard Summer.
Yeah.
So my kids just went to Hard Summer.
I love Hard Summer.
Yep.
Did they?
They were there. Yep. They were. Yep.
How old are your kids?
So I have 5 kids, and
You have 5 kids?
5 kids.
Oh my gosh, you
2,
look like a kid.
2 are mine and 3 are his. And yes, and my daughter and her fiance, and then my other daughter went to Hard Summer. Had a
Very
blast.
fun. Yeah, I went to Hard Summer the last 8 years in a row, and then this year is the first year I've missed this is the first year I've missed in 9 years, and I went to Outside Lands instead in San Francisco, and it was also very fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Super
the one that had some wine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then our youngest son is a senior in college at U of A, and he actually is a DJ as well. So
Very cool.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
How exciting.
He DJs at U of A at some of the bars
Fun.
down there.
Very
So,
Well,
yeah.
have him come. Chet DJs on Friday night, the 10th, at the Phoenix Warehouse Project. Is that what it's called?
It's called Warehouse 215 is the venue name. It'll be a
Awesome.
fun show though.
But
That's
it's
awesome.
somewhere there by the Diamondbacks game, and
Yeah. Oh
he
my
plays
gosh,
at
that's so fun.
12 or 12:30.
12:30 to 2. Yeah.
Deep
Oh.
chatty music.
I love it. So when you speak about what you want to become, it literally goes into your subconscious brain.
Well, one thing I wanted to touch on too is how those confidence streaks, those are really common in pro sports too. Like you see, they'll happen in literally every different pro sport. Baseball, it's really common where a batter will go through a really bad slump. It happens in pro football. Everybody's talking about it right now, actually, how Daniel Jones looks like a completely different person now that he's with the Colts. And it shows that when he was with the Giants, he had zero confidence. Literally zero. I mean, it might have been a combination of bad coaches and not the right teammates. But he literally is looking and moving like a different person. And it goes to show that with his new team, he for sure has confidence. He knows the coaches are calling good plays. He knows his teammates are going to back him up and stuff like that. And right now he's on track to maybe be an MVP candidate. It's at that level. And where everybody before this season was kind of considering him a bust, saying he wasn't a good, consistent player. So it goes to show that being in the right atmosphere that gives you confidence will totally change your life. Yeah, and your performance.
And you have the ability to do it yourself too, even if you aren't in the right environment. It's a lot harder because collectively that collective energy and that collective collaboration is very, very important.
Well, but if there's a high school athlete who's listening to this who just cannot get through to that coaching staff and play at that school, maybe it will change your life to go to the other high school and try to play there.
That's true.
And I've heard of that happening at the high school level a lot.
100%.
And so
you want to go where you want it.
Yeah,
you
exactly. Where you have an opportunity.
Sure. Where you have an opportunity.
Yeah.
And then back to the speaking at Hard Summer, which will happen at one point for you. When we write something down, so now we're talking about the neuroscience of the brain. So when you simply write something down, I will play at Hard Summer in the next 5 years, whatever, 3 years, 2 years, whatever you want it. You can give a specific date, a specific one that you'd like. I have all my clients, all my athletes have a journal. We have a writing prompt every single week because the power of the written word is when you write something down, it's 78 to 80% more likely to happen just simply by writing it down. Because when you write it down and not phone text, because we're just typing letters, it's the handwritten word that goes straight to the subconscious brain. So now that Chet will have written that down on a piece of paper, and he's thinking about it, and he's like, oh wow, I just said that, shit, now I have to make that happen. Like, and then he'll go to bed at night and his subconscious brain will say, you know what, he said he wanted to go to Hard Summer. Like, maybe I need to put people in his life, or maybe I'm going to give him opportunities. Maybe I need to just nudge him to go practice a little bit more, to go seek out different venues that will expand him. That might be a little bit nerve-wracking to go to because they're really big ones. But to get to Hard Summer, I got to put myself out there and be really risky and really like push the envelope.
Aggressive.
And network
and push the envelope and network or do whatever. But you'll get, and as an athlete, if they say, I want to hit 2 home runs, or I want to strike out 7 batters this game, then it'll go into their subconscious, and it'll also do the same thing where your subconscious brain then will also say, hey, what are you doing to support that goal? How can I support you? Maybe you need to go to the batting cage. Maybe you need to go get some extra reps in on those pitches. Maybe you need to go to the gym and tumble a little bit more, whatever it might be. So when we write things that help program, so then
you manifest it.
Yeah, it's literally
manifestation.
Yeah. So I am like the master manifester because I study the brain and I study energy and I study all of those things. But it starts with
that could be our title.
Yeah,
master manifestation.
There you go. But it is true that when we speak about something, then our brain will help us. So if we're a negative Nancy, or we're always doubtful, and we're even like about being sick. So my daughter, not my daughter, sorry. I have a client that is sick right now, and the client that's sick was she just keeps talking about, like, I'm so sick, I'm probably gonna still be sick, I'm gonna be sick, like this happens to me all the time, I'm never gonna get over it, I'm sick every 3 weeks, I don't know why this is.
Hypochondriac.
So finally I just said to her, how about we say I need to be well, I'm going to be well. Like, let's start. Our brain has such an incredible ability to heal our own body. Hey, when I'm sick, I literally go to bed at night and I'm like, hey body, go ahead, do your thing and heal my cold. Get those cells working the way that they need to, align the way that they need to help heal. You can be literally talking to your arm and literally saying, hey body, I know you are
into God. I believe
it makes sense. The brain's the command center for the entire body. So if it's thinking negative thoughts and taking you down, how is the rest of your body going to be?
There's tons of research on
so
that.
So true.
Yeah, so if I'll literally go to bed and I'll pray to God and I'll be like, hey God, I feel a sore throat coming on. I'm like, can you just get my cells to just start functioning better? And I'm going to wake up and I'm going to feel amazing because you are the Almighty who absolutely has the ability to heal anything and everything. And I'm going to wake up feeling amazing. And I'm not joking you, every single time I wake up feeling amazing.
Well, I love your attitude. You are so great.
I feel like there's not a ton of scientific research that backs it up yet, but I think there's a huge aspect of like your will to live and like your enthusiasm for life totally impacts
your passion,
how long and like how much energy you have. And the only basically little bit of evidence that backs it up are all these stories of where it's like a super elderly couple where they both like pass away within like a day of each other. It's like, oh, my wife that was like my reason to live passed away, the will to live goes away, and then they pass away like the next day. And it happens kind of frequently.
It does.
And so that's like some evidence that like if you don't have that will to live or like want to live or reasoning,
or passions and
100%.
things are excited that bring you joy and bring others joy.
But this all ties back to your mindset. If you're like that person who's always like thinking, oh, I'm sick, I've got something wrong with me, like I don't have a chance. That's like basically
or
negative.
What other people think.
But it's basically like festering negative energy that's pulling your whole body down and your wellness and your health. And it's not even like a theory. Like they've done the research that cortisol, like stress and anxiety are really bad for you, like for your physical health. That's literally scientifically proven. Well, and when you're stressing about being sick, that's more cortisol. So it's so bad for you.
And there actually is quite a bit of research on the whole mind-brain connection in regards to positive outcomes. There's your health, exactly, how you stay healthy,
your love life,
the whole gut-brain connection. I actually had an athlete that was struggling and actually broke up with a boyfriend who wasn't totally in alignment with her. So she was struggling and like he was actually draining her a little bit because she felt like
He was negative.
not negative, but he just like kind of sucked the life and energy out of her because she was super active and busy and all the things. And when she finally did what was in alignment with her, what made her happy, what she knew was going to best support her, literally 3 days after she broke up with him, because it was something that she knew was going to be best for her, even though she knew she might be hurting him a little bit, she started tumbling literally within 3 days.
Wow.
Because when you do things that are aligned with yourself, when you do things that you know are good for you, that you know support the dreams and goals that you have moving forward, like everything shifts and everything changes. So that goes to the point about also who you're surrounding yourself. What kind of relationships are you in? Are they supporting you? Are they sucking the energy out of you? Are they, do they have a negative impact, or are they supporting and have a really positive impact on you?
How do they make you feel?
How do they make you feel?
How do they make you feel? Are they criticizing you, or are they
supporting you and lifting you up?
Right, lifting you up, and like, are they making you a better person by complimenting the good in you?
Exactly.
Because I think sometimes you can get in a rut where you're around somebody that might be pulling you down.
Yep. They say you become the 5 closest people you spend time with. So I oftentimes have my athletes and my parents. I work with a lot of parents because parents are the ones obviously paying for their athletes, but then also parents a lot of times don't realize the pressure that they're putting on their athletes. So I oftentimes will, when somebody chooses to work with me, they know right out of the gate that there's a great chance that I'm going to give you as a parent a homework assignment to help support the athlete as well, because I'm not just interested in fixing it just to fix it and to help them become more comfortable. I want to get to the root cause and eliminate it altogether. So if a parent can understand what the role they play in that, if they have a lot of pressure, if they are living vicariously because they were a college athlete and then their kid doesn't really like the sport, like then the kid isn't in alignment. I've had a couple of kids that are like, I don't want to play softball, I want to play badminton or soccer. Well,
they're doing it because the parents making them do it.
Or it's the sport the parent played, and so then I will literally turn down the money. Like, sorry, I'm not going to be able to help someone who isn't even in their own zone, in their happy place. They don't want to be here.
So you can't coach somebody that's not, it's not their passion.
They have to be self-driven,
Right.
Yeah. Or at least wanting to try it. Like, where they're open to trying it, as opposed to, I don't even like this sport anyways, like, so I'm just going to do it to do it. Like, that's not their cue. That's not what their fun spot is. So it's irrelevant, if that makes sense.
So what about dealing, do you ever coach people after dealing with a breakup? Like, if, you're in a relationship?
Yeah, I think it is all, it's all relevant. It all goes towards the same thing in regards to what is our mindset, what is supporting us, how can we surround ourselves, what kinds of things can we do to build our own self? Because when we show up, right, show up, we're going to attract that which we are. So we have to sometimes do the work on ourselves.
So start with ourselves.
Start with ourselves and be very clear in regards to what we want.
Make a list.
A list, but then I'm also a big fan of not focusing, and this is true in sports, it's true in relationships, it's true in everything, is outcome values versus outcome means. Meaning, like, for example, if I have a cheer team that wants to be a world champion and they know they want to be world champions, I'm like, cool, that's your end goal, but how we get there doesn't matter. So we need to detail out what the things that we need, because being world champion isn't necessarily totally within our control, right? So we need to do the very specific things that everyone has control of. I need to be on time. I need to be focused. I need to put in extra work. Like, these are things that we can control, that at the end of the day, then the end result will come just because of the process. With ourselves and relationships, we need to define what kind of person that we want. Not, I want to be with him, or I want to be with her, or I need this fancy materialistic something. It's, how are these things going to make me feel? So it's more about I want a relationship that feels nurturing and caring to me, someone that supports me, someone that is driven and has success goals as well as I do, someone who loves to travel, someone who likes adventure, like the things that are important to you. So it's more process driven than it is like, I want to be married and have a great house and live in have a rich fancy car. You can have all of those things, but if it doesn't fulfill you from the inside out, it doesn't mean anything. Right? So you can have all the fancy things, but if it's by means of someone who's cutting you down all the time and more of a dictator, you know what I mean? Like, so controlling and those kinds of things, then those things aren't enjoyable. So it's really, how do you want to feel? Not what do you want? It's like, how do I want to feel in a relationship? And then we have to let go of the how. How is it going to happen to us? We just let it happen the way that it's supposed to. Because when we try to control the things, then typically it doesn't. Like even like yesterday, right? I mean, that was like, there were just synchronicities. I happened to pray that morning when I was doing my hot tub and cold plunge about abundance, about meeting people, about all the things, and lo and behold, I go to my financial advisor. I stop at the Hillstone, because the Hillstone was my favorite restaurant in Denver, and I just found it this summer, and I pulled into the restaurant, and like, no way, this can't be the same restaurant as in Denver that I just went to over the summer. And sure enough, I pulled up the menu, and it was the same one that I had no idea existed. And so I just was like, oh my gosh, my favorite sushi roll, I'm gonna go in and have a bite of sushi before I go to work at the kiln. And then I sat at the bar, and the rest is history, right? Like, and then we met, and here I am today.
And it was ironic because I had to cancel a show on Monday with actually a musician that works with Gabe, and we're regrouping with him, and so I had an opening, and I said for this weekend, when we found out what you do, I was like, oh, that'd be great. Could we get you on? And it worked for her. So this is like
divine timing.
We manifest.
Yeah.
So when you're helping people that are making those super specific goals, but that are slightly out of their control, what is your advice to them if they basically run into obstacles? Because like some goals somebody might have are so, so specific, and then maybe not totally objective. It might be like a subjective thing, like if a girl wants to win a pageant or something, you know what I mean? The judges might just have like a skewed viewpoint, and she might have done more work and put more time in, but this other person might just be the favorite of the judges or something like that. So there can be situations like that.
That's a great question.
I love that, and I use examples like that all the time, because the same thing, winning worlds, for example, I work with a lot of all-star cheerleaders and worlds cheerleaders. Like, winning worlds is not 100% in your control. The judges might not like you, the music could not work.
It's not so cut and dry like lifting a weight, where it's like if you lift the heaviest weight, you win that competition.
Exactly. So same thing with
track and field. Track and field, it's pretty much
if you go the fastest, you win.
Exactly. So there are some that are a little bit not as as cut.
You don't have as much control.
So that's where you have to dive down and really get specific about, pageant girl that.
So would you have that person adjust their goal then and say, my goal is just to make it to the pageant and do my best and not necessarily win, or would the goal still be just win next year?
So I'm a big believer in that if you know what you want, that you still put it out there. So I worked with a football player who's now in the NFL, and his whole goal was to actually be the starting quarterback as a freshman at USC. That's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Right? And he was like, I want to be the starting quarterback as a freshman. So I was like, okay, great. So he wrote that down. And I was like, now, how much of that is in your control? Well, number one, you have to get accepted to the university first. Then you have to make the team. So he had
then you can beat out the senior.
Then you have to then go and compete and all of those things. So we were very specific, and every week we would meet and we would chat about those things. And the coaches were like, hey, all quarterbacks, you can start coming and watching film with us, like in the summer, like spring before the next year. 7 guys came for the first 3 weeks. Then 3 guys came. Then 2 guys came. He was the only one that went every single week all the way until.
Wow.
So doing the things that others won't do, right? Now,
Michael Jordan.
So now
you would hear about Michael Jordan practicing more and working harder than everybody else.
So now he has the goal, but now he's got to do very specific things to get to that goal. And then the rest is going to take care of itself. And so he was down to the top two quarterbacks. He was the number 2 guy, and he did not get to be the starting quarterback. So they started the very first game, but he still showed up every day like he was going to be the starting quarterback. How you practice, how you show up, how you lead, gave him examples of things to do outside. Hey, the quarterbacks always only focus on the offense. How about you start making friends with the defensive guys?
Well, and still making it to the number 2 spot as a freshman is still impressive. Because that's hard to do.
Here's the crazy thing. So right before halftime of the very first game, the quarterback blew out his knee.
Damn.
Ooh, terrible.
And that was his opportunity to step up.
Oh,
so he became the starting quarterback and went on to make history at USC.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's...
His name is Keaton Slovis. But
wow.
Yeah.
And do you still coach with him?
I don't coach with him. He's in the NFL now, so they got all their big guys. You know. But we had written everything down. And so I have the sheet that said what he wanted his stats to be for that entire year at the end of the year in the paper. Like I have a side-by-side showing you what we wrote down versus what exactly happened. And it was 100% those exact stats.
That's wild. That's wild.
That's like the power of
writing it down.
Of writing it down, of being clear. And even though knowing it's not 100% in your control, what are the things
doing whatever you can.
Doing the things that you can control. So also like with you and Hard Summer, maybe it's I want to play at Hard Summer. Now are you going to be totally disappointed if another venue, Lost Lands, calls you and is like, hey, can you play at Lost Lands?
No,
you're still showing up the same
That's
way.
Right. That's
Does
right.
that make sense?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and you're still showing up the same way. And I am not a fan of being afraid to put something down because it might not happen. You still put it down, but then you have to put the controllables down that I need to play more. I need to network and go to 10 bars a week. I need to really put myself out there. I need to make a demo tape that I need to, and I'm making this up. I have no idea if this is exactly what you're supposed to do.
He needs to work on more songs.
But those kinds of, those kinds of things where you're actively working towards getting your name out there, what makes you different, taking a little bit of risk. And typically when we hit obstacles or we write that moment when we feel like, nothing's working, I should probably give up, that's when we need to push through. Because when we make it on the other side of that, like now we've expanded our own capacity, because if we aren't ready for the success, it's not like we have to expand ourselves to be ready and willing for that success. So expanding is doing the hard things. It is stepping out of my comfort zone, because evolving because perhaps right now, if he were to step on a stage at Hard Summer, he might not quite be ready, and might not be ready for all of that success.
Do you think you're ready? I think
you're
ready.
Well, I've played at other festivals.
That's awesome.
Just kind of stepping into playing out of state festivals, because I've played several festivals in Arizona.
That's awesome.
That's what I'm saying. I want to branch out and play in other states.
And did you hear what he said? No, I'm ready.
Oh yeah,
like
100%.
he's 100% ready. He's already there.
Oh yeah, I put like a lot of work into every one of my sets, because I want to put on the best show possible. So I put on basically one of the best sets at whatever festival I'm at, like compared to all the headliners. Like I've had people come up to me and say that my set was their favorite when I was like on the lineup with like the biggest headliners in the game right now. And so I've had those type of compliments. So that's why I have a lot of confidence in my sets. I know that I'm going to kill it.
And he turns down a lot of gigs because he doesn't like oversaturating.
Well, no, I just only want to play at the good venues.
Yeah, he only plays at big ones. So yeah. So he
and it is all about who you surround. And same with me. Like when I show up and I'm in the present moment and I'm either doing a camp for athletes where there's 100 or 1,000 athletes, or if I'm doing a coach's training, like I am fully present and in the moment, and I am just confident. I literally coach through intuition, and just I'm there to give them what they need. I didn't prepare for today. I had no idea what we were going to talk about, but that's the beauty. That's the beauty of it.
I think it's more exciting than that.
It is, and that's the beauty of it, because I just know that I'm going to deliver whatever you guys need for the show. And that's just, and when you show up that way, it forces you to stay in the present moment. It forces you to be fully aligned with, oh my gosh, this is going to be so exciting. How can I give to you? What do you need from me? It's not Jen being like, listen to what I'm saying. I am delivering. I am great at what I do. I'm delivering a great message. It's, no, where are you struggling? How can I support you? What can I do to help make you, a better athlete, a better coach, a better organization? And when you are confident that way, where you're just like, no, I'm ready, things will just start to happen.
But you still did give really good advice that I should be basically putting in more effort on networking and putting myself out there in that way, because basically the the obstacle to me playing that bigger circuit of like nationwide festivals is having the right manager or agent. And meeting that person is just a matter of me like putting myself out there more and going to more venues and networking more. So you're right, your advice is still spot on. Like my skills are ready, but it's still, I just need to put in more work on the networking side of things to get my skills in front of the right person.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
my skills are in front of the right people here in Arizona. So like I am like a resident DJ for basically the best brand here right now.
What brand is that?
Relentless Beats.
Okay,
but I want to branch out and play in a bunch of states.
I love that. And then on that note too, so about that ends mean or ends value, like also be very specific. Like I want you to go home and write down what kind of manager, what kind of agent do you want? Because people will come after you and they'll be like, oh, I see what you're doing. Let me do this because I want a piece of that pie or whatever. I don't know the industry very well. I don't know the industry at all. But when, again, it's not about the ends mean. It's about what kind of agent do I want representing me? What kind of manager is going to vibe with me so that I can stay aligned? Where if you have an agent or a manager that's like, oh no, we should really do this because this is going to get you the views, and you're like, that's not really my style. That's not like what my heart is wanting to do. That's not my passion, because that industry can mold you the way that they want to, and then
that totally does happen.
Yep, and then you lose your alignment with yourself, and then things will start to go downhill from there.
And you have to find somebody that you trust too, because it's wild how much like stealing and stuff will happen in that industry. Like
that was my point.
Dane Cook's own brother stole like half of his money. It was his agent.
I don't want to mention.
The point is that you have to be very careful about who your agent is, like, because you don't know what you're getting until you know them, so and that can take some time. So, it's more great advice.
Yeah, so
great
just be
advice.
Clear on that in regards to, it's more about the process and the journey of like, how do I want to feel? How do I want that person to be a part of my team, be an extension of me? I just hired my first employee. She's getting her master's in sports psychology, and she wants to learn Q Life. She's going to be a Q Life coach with me. Like she's going to be she is now an extension of me. And I've gone through probably 12 interns, and none of them were like the right fit. And so I was just like, you're going to stay as an intern, and then you're going to go along, and thank you so much. And I hope I taught you, and it was a great experience, but not somebody that I want to represent my brand. Right.
So you finally found that fit.
So I finally found that fit and that alignment, and again, the way that it came to me, the way that, it was just like so easy and flowed because it was just right in alignment with what I was looking for. I met her mom. Her mom was like, hey, can you have coffee with my daughter? And then it was like an instant, like,
I love it.
Beautiful thing. Yeah.
Well, I think everything's meant to be.
Yes, 100%.
And I think
so. If somebody wants your help chasing their goals, how do they find you? Because we only have a few minutes left.
Perfect. Well, they can find me at
episode number 1 with you.
Okay, perfect. JenGraffice.com is my website. So very simple. I'm on Instagram. I'm on all social media. So it's JenGraffice.QLife, which is, and then Jen@JenGraffice is my email.
Okay, great. And so, and you...
I do all kinds of coaching, life coaching, mentorship, athletes, teams, parents. Doesn't even have to be an athlete. I do have, a lot of athletes, but I always have those one-offs of people that I meet, and they're like, wow, that would be a great, I have like an orchestra, someone in orchestra that's a great musician, a pianist, like those kinds of things. So, that's the beauty of owning your own business. You can do whatever you want.
Well, thank you. I really enjoyed this interview, and I don't want to end it, but we've ran out of time. So, saving the planet.